Okay, so welcome to this new tutorial of the series Data Mining Concepts and Techniques. And today you are watching very important technique in the classification and very improved technique which gives very good results. That is support vector machine. Support vector machine, also called as SVM. The popular name for this is SVM. So we will starting this session. Okay, what is support vector machines or SVM? A new classification method for both linear and non-linear data. It can be applied to both kind of data, that is linear as well as non-linear data. Then it uses a non-linear mapping to transform the original training data into a higher dimension. So non-linear mapping is used to transform the original training data into a higher dimension. Then with the new dimension, it searches for linear optimal separating hyperplane. So creating a hyperplane or decision boundary is very important in the support vector machines in the SVM. Okay, after creating or separating the hyperplane, with an appropriate non-linear mapping to a sufficiently high dimension, data from two classes can always be separated by a hyperplane. So separation in two classes done by the hyperplane. Okay, SVM finds this hyperplane using support vectors, essential, okay, training tuples, and the margins. Okay, so two terms are there in SVM, and very important terms, that is support vectors and the margins. So with the help of these support vectors and the margins, the hyperplane is generated, okay, in the SVM. So how it will work, we will see. Then we will see some of the history and applications of support vector machines. The Wapnick and colleagues in 1992 uh, first found that technique. Okay, groundwork from Wapnick and statistical learning theory in 1960s. Though it is a old technique, but the improvement is done, okay, day by day to get the better results. So features are training can be slow, but accuracy is high, owing to their ability to model complex nonlinear decision boundaries, that is margin maximization. So though the training is slow, but the accuracy what we get is very high, okay, due to the margin maximization. So this technique is used, and it is used for classification as well as prediction. Okay, and the very popular applications of SVM are handwritten digit recognition, then the object recognition, the speaker identification, then the benchmarking time series prediction test. So there are so many applications of this SVM because it used for classification as well as the prediction. Then the SVM general philosophy is what? It separates the training data into two classes. Okay, so this is the class 1 and this is the class 2, and it is a support vector or the classification line or linear regression, okay, which has a small margin. This margin is formulated for the error minimization. Okay, because if we take from this boundary, then the error will be more. If we take this point from this dark boundary, then the error is more. But if we take this small margin, which is the dotted line, then the error is minimized. This term is called as a margin maximization. Okay, similarly, uh, in this class, due to the margin maximization, error is minimized. Okay, so these are support vectors. Okay, and this is the margin taken here. This is the large margin where the support vectors are having the distance greater here. That's why the margin is also large to reduce the error in between the support vectors and the margin. So this is the fundamental strategy in SVM. So I have just elaborated this SVM philosophy in simple words for you. Okay, if we took any example that is very difficult to understand, so that's why I have made it simple for you. Then the next is SVM margins and support vectors. So as you see here, these are some of the small margins where these support vectors are closer to this boundary. Okay, that's why the margins are small. But in this case, the margins are large because these support vectors are far away from this boundary. Then the next is the SVM when data is linearly separable. When data is linearly separable, the SVM is very well known technique because if it is a linearly separable, the probability for finding the error is very less because we can directly separate these two classes by one line and find the margins which is maximum to reduce the error. Okay, so maximum marginal hyperplane is generated here. So let data D be x1 and y1 and up to xd and yd, where xi is the set of training tuples associated with the class labels yi. There are infinite lines separating the two classes, but we want to find the best one, that is the one that minimizes classification error on unseen data. That is, the SVM searches for the hyperplane with the largest margin, that is maximum marginal hyperplane. Okay, then the SVM linearly set. Okay, there is a formula for linear separation. Okay, W into X plus B is equal to 0, where B is the scalar, or we can say the constant, where W is the W1, W2 up to Wn is a weight vector. Okay, for 2D it can be written as W0 plus W1 x1 plus W2 x2 is equal to 0. Okay, the hyperplane defining the sides of margins are h1 equal to W0 plus W1 x1 greater than 1 for yi is equal to plus 1, and h2 is less than equal to minus 1 for yi is equal to minus 1. So any training tuples that fall on hyperplane h1 or h2, that is the sides defining the margins, are support vectors. Okay, this becomes a constraint, or that is convex quadratic optimization. So why is SVM effective on high dimensional data? Because the complexity of trained classifier is characterized by hash of support vectors rather than the dimensionality of the data. And the second reason is the support vectors are essential or critical training examples. They lie closest to the decision boundary due to the MMH, that is margin maximization. Okay, hyperplane. If all other training examples are removed and the training is repeated, the same separating hyperplane would be found. This is the more important thing in the SVM. Okay, the number of training vectors found can be used to compute an upper bound on the expected error rate. So, if you consider the number of support vectors, then the upper bound is very important to have the error rate very less. So the SVM with small number of support vectors can have good generalization even when the dimensionality of data is high. So if the dimensionality of data is high, then SVM generates small number of support vectors because of good generalization. Okay, so these are some of the reasons for why is SVM effective on high dimensional data. Then the next important thing is SVM kernel functions, because for generating the boundary or for generating the maximum margin, okay, so for that the kernel function is very important to separate the classes. So there are typical kernel functions for different type of data. One of them is polynomial kernel. Okay, then there is a Gaussian radial basis function kernel, then there is a sigmoid kernel. For different kind of data, different kernel functions are used to minimize the error and maximize the predicted output accuracy. Then SVM can also be used for classifying multiple classes, that is more than two classes, and for regression analysis with additional user parameters. So scaling SVM by hierarchical microclustering. For more than two classes, SVM can be used. You know that. And for the SVM is not scalable to number of data units in terms of training time and memory use. Clustering, hierarchical microclustering is used. Okay, we will not go into detail of this. So there is one type of SVM is CBSVM, that is clustering based SVM, where training data sets may not even fit in memory, and it read the data set once only, that is minimizing the disk access. Okay, how it does it? After constructing a statistical summary of data, okay, given a limited amount of memory, the statistical summary maximizes the benefit of learning SVM. Then the summary plays a role in indexing SVM. Okay, essence of microclustering is it uses the microcluster hierarchical indexing structure for providing finer samples closer to boundary and coarser samples farther from the boundary. That is, it is selective declustering to ensure high accuracy. So it is the improved version of basic SVM, that is CB SVM, clustering based SVM. Then there is a CF tree, that is hierarchical micro cluster. Okay, as you see in the diagram, there are negative clusters and positive clusters, which is separated by the boundary here. So this last part is very important, that is the difference between SVM and neural network. Because if you consider these two techniques are very popular and very powerful techniques for the classification. But how we can differentiate these two techniques and when to use SVM and when to use neural network, that is very important. So we will see the difference. So if you see the SVM, this is the relatively new concept, and if you see the neural network, it is relatively old concept. Then the second differentiation is SVM is deterministic algorithm and neural network is non-deterministic algorithm. Then third difference is nice generalization properties, and in neural network it generalizes well but doesn't have strong mathematical foundation. Is hard to learn, okay, and it has a mathematical foundation. Okay, so nice generation properties are there, and neural network doesn't have strong mathematical foundation. Okay, then the next difference is SVM is hard to learn. Then it learn in batch mode using quadratic programming technique, but neural network can easily be learned in incremental fashion. This is the advantage of neural network. Okay, and the last but not least difference is SVM using kernels can learn very complex functions, but in neural network to learn complex functions use multilayer perceptron, which is not that trivial. Okay, so if you see the difference, the complex functions can be solved by the SVM very proper manner, but in neural network the complex functions are not that trivial. Okay, so in general, if you see the difference between SVM and neural network, so SVM is more popular than neural network. Okay, but if we have to learn the model very less time, then the neural network is good. Okay, This is only the advantage of neural network. Otherwise, the SVM is very popular and very well known, strong, powerful classification and prediction technique. So this is all about the support vector machines. Okay, that is SVM. Like, comment and share this video to your friends. Okay, because SVM is more popular and more powerful technique to classify the things. And if you are new to the channel, subscribe to channel and press the bell icon for latest updates. Keep learning, keep watching. Thank you. Jai Hind.